Hello, guys. Welcome to another session. So, in this session, I'm going to talk about something which is very important: how you're going to master your weak subjects. See, in our UPSC preparation journey, we all have some subjects that are, naturally strong in, and some subjects that feel really tough. So that's our weak subjects, right? For example, in my preparation, polity, modern India, economics, these are very, very strong areas for me because they are conceptual and it's very easy to understand and very easy to study. But there are certain subjects like geography, mapping, and all these are slightly difficult for me. So no matter how many times you study them, you tend to forget those facts, right? So this is what I have seen in my preparation, and just like me, your strong and weak subjects might be different, but it will be there. For some of you, it might be polity and history, might be very strong. And for others, it could be economy. I've seen many people, economy are the weakest, the subject. And for them, I have the entire economy series in my channel. You can just go through that and you'll cover that. Geography is another weak subject. It could be, right? But I've seen many who are very good at economy, very good at geography also. So, see, the important question is how do we convert a weak subject into a strong one? So that's exactly what I'm going to help you with today. And in this session, I'll share five powerful strategies that I use to transform my weak subjects into confident scoring areas. And these five strategies can help you to crack your UPSC prelims also. So, see, the very first thing that I did was dive deep into the previous year questions of the weak subjects. So, assume that your weak subject is economy. Go to the previous year questions, right? So, or if it is environment, go to the previous year questions and pick 15 to 20 years of previous year questions and analyze them very carefully. And ask yourself, what are the repeating themes? That's most important. Understand what are the areas from which they're asking question, what are the repeating themes, which topics are UPSC's favorite from that particular subject, and write down those themes. So when you're writing down, this actually give you the clarity on where you have to focus and what subject and when you will where you will be stressing more on whenever you are studying that particular subject. So it's not necessary that you need to read everything, right? 100% coverage of syllabus is impossible. Don't go for that kind of perfectionism. Perfectionist approach won't work in UPSC. So write down the themes, important themes, UPSC's favorite area that give you the clarity on where you're going to focus when you're studying this particular subject. So without this step, you may end up spending too much of time and wasting too much of time on less relevant areas also, and that makes it even more difficult when you're preparing. So once I know the themes, then what I need to do, I practiced a lot of test papers. Of course, from previous year questions, I got the idea that I practiced a lot of questions, not just from one institute, but I took questions from Vision, Vajira, whatever institutes, question papers, mock test, which are available. 4 or 5 different institutes I've taken, and then I have to see that's normal thing that you do. So I attempted each and every possible test available for my weaker subjects. So that's exactly what you can also do, right? Maybe when you're doing the preparation, that time itself you'll be following at least 4 or 5 institutes test series. I've told you already, it's not that you are buying the entire test series as such, rather you get it from the market and you practice with that only. Otherwise, it's impossible for you to buy everything by paying them. So initially, you will be scoring very low mark in those papers because that's your weak area. Your confidence is also less. But every mistake, in fact, become a permanent lesson. So the mistakes that you make should be the stepping stones, so that you won't repeat that mistake and you will be covering that area completely. And that actually, what the help that you will get from the test series or the mock papers when you're solving, and revise those subjects multiple times, revise those areas multiple times, clear my concepts that with respect to that important themes, and slowly the fact that started to stick into your memory, these facts that otherwise you feel that it's very difficult to memorize or very difficult to grasp, that will automatically will get into your memory. So what I suggest you is, don't fear the low marks that you will be seeing in the mock test when you're taking, right? So instead what you can do is focus on learning from your mistakes, and each and every mistake you make, that should be the stepping stone. And next time when you get that question, you're not going to make the mistake. That's the idea of solving maximum possible questions during your preparation. Again, if you look at subjects like polity, history, right, these are very volatile also. So what you can do is you can make crisp and micro notes for these kinds of subjects. If these are your weak subjects like history, maybe some facts you won't remember, polity, so these are very volatile also, conceptual at the same time factual. So make very crisp and micro notes, and that will definitely help. In fact, I especially made notes on topics I always forget. So that's something which you can do. So when you're writing down, you tend to remember that, and you can revise, of course, your own handwriting. So this way, you can revise them quickly before any test or before the actual exam also. So again, if you are weak areas, for example, economy or environment, so what you can do, you'll be making that crisp notes for for frequently forgotten facts. So you will be writing down environment, so much of factors there, so you can do that. And creating your own notes, that definitely will help you for your revision, right? These short summaries and crisp notes, that's going to be immense helpful during your revision, and that value will understand later. And one of the best technique that worked for me actually is to link the current affair with the static part of the syllabus. So I'll explain this. See, if I see a news, let's say about governor or CAG, then what I'll do, I'll have to go back to polity, read the chapter on governor or comptroller and auditor general from Lakshmikant. So this is a relevant current affair. So the chances of getting question from that area is very high. So from the Lakshmikant, I have to cover that facts which are required for that. So whenever you see these polity terms, the constitutional post or articles which is coming up in the newspaper, so you have to study both, right? You will be going through the current affairs, you're going through the notes, and then you come back to the static part, that Lakshmikant, or whatever textbook that you're following, and then cover that, the facts and everything which is related to that. So that will actually create that mental linkage also, which in fact will help you to remember the concept for a long period of time, and it will be there in your memory. If you can link that, mental linkage is something which is very important when you're preparing for subjects like polity. So you can do the same for economy also. You'll be coming up across certain things, IIP or CPI, which appears in the news. So what you will do, you will be revising, you'll be going back, you will be taking your notes, revising those areas, and then you'll be clearing your facts and make that linkage of facts and the current affair with the real events. Okay, so this is how you will remember such kind of volatile, tricky subject easily. And one more effective method that I use during my preparation is I discuss my weak areas with my friends. For example, geography, I was so weak, so mapping and other things I keep on discussing with my friends in library when we used to have lunch, right? During lunch break, dinner breaks. We do this quiz also each other. So on various articles on historical events or governors, viceroys, whatever we are studying, we used to do that quiz. So if you have a very good friend circle, you can use it in this way, that actually rather than gossiping and other things, right, things which demotivate you, it should be a real motivation. So when you try to teach a concept to your friend, it will actually help you to remember even better. Or if someone is teaching you, your friend is telling you, that will be much more be there in your mind rather than you reading from the textbook. So that kind of interaction, quizzing and other things will definitely help you. So I definitely encourage you, use your break time smartly, have some good friends, have some good circle in your library. Again, in this preparation alone, it's slightly difficult alone. There are people who can manage it, but these things will help you to remember things, cover things, motivating, and then uh, you know uh, sometimes you can spend like this, right? And you can teach your friends whatever you have learned. That will help you to remember yourself, especially if some areas your weak subject, you learn something, you teach them. So that's one of the way to remember. This is one of the best forms of revision also. So you have learned, teach your friends, so that help you to remember. And in the last days, last maybe 30, 45 days of your prelims, what I did is I dedicated 1 hour daily to polity and 1 hour daily to history. Right, these are where a lot of facts are there, and geography especially, because that's where I always get trapped. and map and other things, because these are very hard to retain, and I kept myself daily in touch with them. So when you're doing that, that will give you better retention, and then stronger confidence in that final days when you are with that subjects every day. That give you that momentum also, that give you that retention power also, and you're daily in touch with that subject, and the sense of control over your weak areas also. So during your final 30 days, now we are in the last 50 days, so your final 30 days, raise your weak subject every single day and revise it properly every day. Okay, so that's something which again I want to discuss. You can of course make special notes on certain subjects which again require a lot of memory power and stress: medieval history, ancient history, art and architecture, art and culture. So if your weak areas are this, I think many of you have the weak areas will be medieval history, ancient India, art and culture. This is the common. So this is a common with everyone. So what I do is don't invest too much of time in this, but you will get 4 or 5 questions from these areas in prelims, and the what to say, the input output ratio is very low. The cost benefit analysis, if you see, that's not that great here. So what you can do is just go through selective pages of NCRTs of the spectrum, go through the previous year questions, see the areas from which they got the questions, and then go with that areas. So this 5 strategies, that I have discussed is for important subjects. Like, what are the core areas, important subjects, your science and technology, your environment, your economy, geography, polity, and modern India. So not that medieval history, ancient art and architecture. Why? Because the cost benefit analysis, if you do, you're not getting much from that areas. But still, if you want, you can do that. Especially even then, also art and architecture, you give more importance, then ancient history, then medieval history. There also you can go for prioritization. But environment, science and technology, history, geography, polity, economy, that the area you can never compromise. The method that I've discussed is more valid for that. Lastly, if you're targeting for UPSC 2025 exam, you don't have much time, 50 days left. So I have already given a plan for that. Go through that and see how you can cover the syllabus. And definitely you have to cover the previous year question themes, and connect the current affair with the static part, right? So all those areas which you need to cover, that's exactly what I want to discuss here. Then what? So I told you already, right? So if I want to go for a quick recap, you are struggling with your weak subject in your UPSC prelims preparation or UPSC preparation, the 5 steps that I have told you. And the first step, analyze 15 to 20 year previous year questions and list out the most important themes, the UPSC favorite areas from that. Then what you need to do, solve test papers from at least 4 or 5 coaching institutes. Whatever you get, try to solve that. 4 or 5 is the minimum. If you can do it more, it is much better. And make crisp micro notes on frequently forgotten topics and use that for revision. And of course, you will have to definitely link your static syllabus with the current affairs using news examples, something coming in the news. Go back to the static part, cover it up, okay? And discuss and teach these topics that you cover from your weak areas to your friends. That will help you to retain better, and that's a very good revision. And in the last 30 days of your exam, revise these subjects every day. These should come every day into your memory, that help you in more retention. And don't forget, guys, focus only on the important subjects and skip the unnecessary effort on low return areas like medieval history. So that's it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some idea. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for any mentorship or one-to-one consultation, get in touch with us. The details are given in the description. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you.